am going to read to you today my father's shitty advice. It's barely a memoir. I mean, it's tiny, super short. And I wrote it as basically a gift to my father for his 80th birthday. And the dedication says, this is an inside joke to him, ba-da-ba-ba, because did you know that Beethoven wrote the Fifth Symphony for his dad? But it's a Spanish joke, so ¿sabías que Beethoven escribió la Quinta Sinfonía para su papá? Ba-da-ba-ba. And I put little notes around it so he would know. Just so you know, my dad kind of makes fun of me for having Facebook and YouTube and stuff like that, but I love him anyway. He's like, what do you think you are? You think you're an influencer? Yes, I am. Well, not yet, but I will be. Even though I'm old, still gonna be one. Anyway, read this book. I'm reading it to you. Wait a minute. Here we go. Introduction. Yes, I'm old and I have to lick my fingers. I never knew why people did that before. I thought it was so weird, and now I know why. Because your fingers get all dry and dead. Introduction. My dad is one of the smartest people I know. He's a handsome guy too. And I'm not just saying that to make up for the title of this book, which may initially seem ever so disrespectful. He also cuts to the core of things. He doesn't dance around the turd. He handles turds in the proper fashion. If you do not, and he likes you enough to impart his wisdom, he might tell you one of his maxims, which often involve bathroom metaphors. Anyway, I have talked about writing this book as a joke, but now that my dad's about to turn 80, I thought it was time to get cracking. Don't wipe someone else's ass. Dinner time fights are everyone's favorite, right? Well, we had heated discussions where all of us said exactly what we thought. We also lived in New York, where in many instances this was the norm. Also, my parents are from Argentina, and I always attributed any peculiarities in my family to the Argentinian culture. When we were little, my father would say to my now actual lawyer sister that I didn't need a lawyer when she stood up for me. At the time, I disagreed. I was always grateful for her defense, and she was excellent at saying what I could not. As life progressed, and we all started to curse like sailors, this pearl of wisdom evolved. No limpies el culo de otra persona, which translates to, don't clean someone else's ass. He's right. When speaking of people of equal age, unless you are speaking for someone who is powerless or is asking for your defense, it is best to stay out of it. Trust people to stand their ground and let them have the pleasure of standing up for themselves. Otherwise, you inadvertently make them appear weak and also create a little resentment mixed with gratitude. You can show solidarity without butting in, and then you just get gratitude without conscious or unconscious resentment. In other words, boundaries, or mind your beeswax. Don't wipe your ass before you take a shit. If you are fretting about something beyond your control, this is what my dad says. No te limpies el culo antes de cagar. Don't wipe your ass before you take a shit. My mother usually would say, hay que dejarlo en las manos de Dios. Leave it in God's hands. If you're telling my dad how you want to be buried because you have a new freckle and you haven't even made an appointment to see the dermatologist yet, this is the advice he would offer. And frankly, the shit metaphor is more memorable than don't count your chickens before they hatch. Many people keep chickens. Also, shit is eternal. Death, taxes, and shit. Don't wipe your ass before you take a shit. Marry an ass and you get shit. In the late 80s, my dad got involved in a business venture in Argentina. It was a clothing company that designed, manufactured, and sold clothing. His business partner was a guy who fell in love with a younger woman. She was tall and curvy, with a definite emphasis on her posterior. She spoke in this awful Betty Boop baby voice, and she would call him Bichi, which means something like little bug or buggy. Bicho means insect or bug to an Argentinian. Ask a Puerto Rican what it means there, and you will get a very different answer. Anyway, Bichi and the baby woman got married. We were pretty sure he was using her for her youth and she was using him for his money. The marriage may have lasted a year or two, and then she cleaned him out. She took everything with her, including all of the furniture and even the refrigerator. Ciao, Vici, me voy y me llevo la heladera. Bye, little bug, I'm going now, and I'm taking the fridge. My father had seen it coming and said, of course, you marry an ass and you get shit. As life went on, this became an occasional refrain. It applied to other marriages and situations. Cut the shit. All right, so this pretty much sums up my father's approach to mental health issues growing up. He admits he is an excellent surgeon, but as a psychiatrist, is not so good. The thing is, when we were kids, most of the time he was right. Everything was fine, all of our needs were met, and whatever thing got our panties in a bunch was just everyday life. Cut the shit is a common expression, but that doesn't mean it wasn't original for him. Being foreign makes many cliches seem exotic. For example, how we named our dog. We went to a collie breeder in Scarsdale because we wanted a Lassie dog. We found the most beautiful collie puppy, and he was prettier than Lassie. We went out to dinner at Luigi's after choosing him from the litter. Luigi's was on Central Avenue in Yonkers. It has since burned down. I still haven't had a better Capellini Primavera. Anyway, we were brainstorming. Cannoli, Napoleon. Our first dog had been named Brownie. We liked dessert. Fluff, Luigi, Puccio, Houdini. All sorts of names. It was a terrific brainstorm. Then my father, with perfect adamance and certainty that he was the first person in the world to think of it, said, Rusty. Eureka! We all agreed, as long as Cannoli was the middle name. I don't think any of us dared to say it was a very common dog's name, but my sisters and I thought it was so funny. Eventually, we told him, and he was like, what? No good? Because his color, like rust, is perfect. Don't stir the shit. Whenever my dad says this, I think of my grandmother, my mom's mother. I was telling her something that upset me, and she said it was better not to talk about it. Just let it settle, otherwise I'd be stirring up mud in a stream. In a lot of cases, this is true. Sometimes it's good to find those kryptonite bits and throw them out of your stream instead of letting them settle. But for the most part, it just needs to settle. My dad uses this in a slightly different way. It's like you're sitting there over a pot of shit stew, stirring it. It's what he says when someone is either starting trouble with a sleeping dog or when someone is just kind of wallowing in all of the crap in their life while ruminating again. Sometimes you want to process something or put your finger on a problem to get past it. But other times, a shitty day is just a shitty day, and a shitty person is just a shitty person, and you just let it be the inevitable pond scum of your life, or at very least, you don't start adding seasonings to it. No revuelvas la mierda. Don't stir the shit. Stop farting around. This probably should have been the first one. This one he always says in English, and he certainly knew it was an idiom. It's also probably what I heard most often. Second to, deja de joder. Stop being annoying or pestering me. But literally, it's more like stop screwing around. Or no seas hincha pelotas. Don't be a pain in the ass. Literally, don't be a testicle sweller. I was a champion procrastinator. I still am. It's an ADD thing. I get it done, but it usually looks like I'm just screwing around and wasting time. When I was little, this cracked me up. I pictured someone propelled by their farts just zooming around on fart power. Don't buy a piece of shit. No te compres una cagada. This translates roughly to don't buy garbage, but literally it means a shitted thing or a pooped upon thing. Cagado can also mean doomed or broken beyond repair, or as we say in American, fucked. I love taking my kids to the dollar store to buy 10 things for $10, although now it's 10 things for $12.50, inflation. When I was a kid, they still called it the 5 and dime. It was more like a 63-cent store. Anyway, I still have fun throwing fuzzy socks, Bic pens, and post-on notes and other off-brand necessities in my shopping basket with abandon, paying with a 10 and having change. Quantity over quality. But generally speaking, buying things that are well made and won't break the first day you have them is a good idea. Cars, clothing, furniture, art, original fine art made by living artists. Plus, a penny saved is a penny earned. So if you can't get a good thing, hold on to your dough until you can, instead of buying a bunch of crapola. I'll repeat it again. Don't buy a piece of shit. No te compres una cagada. Only assholes wear suspenders. This is one you probably haven't heard before. Related to not buying crap, there's also this. My dad's not big on fads. Yellow ties were a big thing for a while. A little bit after the Miami Vice thing and before the bright denim blue dress shirts. My dad would say, "Did you ever notice that every single person who wears a yellow tie is an asshole?" Suspenders were another one. "He's an asshole. Oh, for sure. Only assholes wear suspenders." Cufflinks and pocket squares were spared only because they remained old school. Bow ties also meant someone was an asshole unless they were in a tux. Wasn't ever a big trend that I know of. I think he just thought they were trying to be cute or quirky. Look at that moron wearing a bow tie. There we go. Coming to the end. I know you're going to cry. It's so sad. That's why you have to buy the book, so you can read it yourself. All right, so my kids are home, so there's background noise, but let me just read this little last bit for you. So this is an official review, my actual dad's words of what he said when he read this. And this is why I never edited it, made it bigger. He loved it just like it was, and it really is for him. It's for everybody else too, just because he's funny. And he's funnier than what I put in here. Anyone who knows him, like he makes people laugh. He just can't help it. He's got chops. He missed his calling. Anyway, he saved some lives, so it's okay. Okay, so praise for Emmy Fisher. The author's dad, there's a picture of him. Emmy Fisher's father was the first one to read this. This was his review. Muy bueno, la verdad que para cagarse de risa, besos. Which literally translates to, very good. Truth is, it's for shitting from laughing. Kisses. Cagarse de risa is an expression in Spanish that means cracking up. Anyway, couldn't have been a better review, more apropos. Acknowledgements. Thank you to my mother, father, husband, sisters, and brother-in-law who appreciate the great wisdom of the Juanzinator, as my little sister named him. I love you. And also by Emmy Fisher. So these books were kind of like, I guess I could say, real books. Shiny Marbles was about, it's a short novel, or a novella, about mental health and murder and like weird like stuff, ghosty stuff kind of stuff. And Schuylkill Punch, it's kind of like a magical realism meets bored housewife. Good stuff. Please read. And yeah, that's it. So it would be wonderful if you could get it. And I made it affordable so that I can hopefully have a large volume of people buying the book and help support my art. So if you would, I would really appreciate it if you buy the book. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.